Okay, you didn't see that, but I'm gonna bang my gongs again. Can you see what's behind me? I'm reminded as I sit before you, there is this unbelievable amount of pain and suffering that I know myself not to bear, that it's not mine. It's really hard being a mystic Buddhist and knowing and feeling angry and frustrated in the knowing of how those that are puppeteers and the shit that they do in order to gain this catastrophic, oh my gosh, it sounds like catastrophic thinking, but it's not. These people, what they will go to the ends and the means to do to prove themselves, and to who, and for what? For yourself. If you're going to create any kind of change, do it for you. The desperation, the Spirit was showing me earlier. Hope is the thing with feathers. There are those that may be going through excruciating pain and suffering right now, and having hope. Oh my gosh, let me just see what comes forward, because I'll tell you, when you go through as a seer, or you're there and you're healing others, and I'm talking about different parts of Canada that I have done this, and in the United States, and I just realized that even when I was over in Europe, and the spirits and that was wandering the earth plane, and you could smell the smoke and that from, World War II, and just the crisis and what is even going on today. And I just know that there are those that puppeteer people's lives, and it's so frustrating because you almost have to stop, take a step back and observe. And for me, it's really hard because I've been in a relationship where someone tried to tell me who to talk to, who not to talk to, who to, all these things, but was very abusive in the manner. But at the same time, we don't have to be. We can be supportive and say, surround yourself with loving, kind, compassionate, caring people. And if you get shut out because the person doesn't want to hear you, they want to hear themselves, and they're in this deep despair where they can't even hear themselves. And so taking action is important. I mean, this is the year of the horse, the fiery horse. Oh my gosh, truly, I believe we're going to have to start seeing more red around us. And I'm not talking about bloodshed. I'm talking about the color red, There are teachers out there that are saying, even take your sage and wrap it up in red cloth. And I'm like, I forgot to take my, red cloth. So thank you, Sean, for that suggestion. An indigenous man who's a medium. So either way, let's see what Emily Dixon has to say. What if I say I shall not wait? What if I burst the fleshly gate and pass, escape to thee? What if I file this mortal off, see where it hurts me? That's enough, and wade in liberty. They cannot take us anymore. Dungeons may call and guns implore. Unmeaning now to me as laughter was an hour ago, or laced or traveling show, or who died yesterday. In the name of love, this is the thing. People are dying by suicide at a rapid rate. There's people in spiritual communities that are casting down things And that's how they see it, you see. They feel they are superior than anyone else. I've talked to 2 people today that are basically, have lost faith. They're atheists. And so be it. They're loving, compassionate, caring persons. And it's evident in their presence. And I believe it's because of those that go through such excruciating pain and suffering that it's almost like Jesus Christ bared the cross, but so have we. And I'm not talking about Christianity and born-again Christians or, you know, those of all different faiths. I'm talking about human beings, being decent human beings, being loving, being compassionate, being caring, and that there's this others as a collective that can do excruciating things to others. I know the powers that be, the tongue, the laser tongue of ill-regarded intent in a way of psychic attacks because of the pain that I am feeling inside. It's like, don't mess with me. I know what it's like in a way to be a survivor of PTSD, to have this sexual misconduct situation where I got all this trickery shit happening that I never got my file got lost, certain things got lost, so I never got my compensation, while others lied and deceived, even today reminded by spirit that a case wouldn't have went through if it wasn't for me sharing my personal effing docs with a bunch of women online that used it for their case and they got compensation for it. And it was my file, my documentation. So that's how spirit can play trickery and play crap. And they all go like this and that, thinking they're in the knowing. They do not have full access to your Aztec records. Know this to be true. They'll poke and prod and trickery to find out, to say the least. And I'm like, Spirit, stop wandering the airplane. Don't shortchange yourself. Cross over already. Be the light you are. If you're in fear, just know it to be true that you'll sort it out in your life review. So carry on, move along, please and thank you. And some of them are like, can I at least see Guy Lafleur when I cross over, kind of thing? Well, guess what? His anniversary is coming up on the 22nd of April. 4 years. Guess what? He's also number 4 when he first started out in hockey. And then what else? Oh my God, I'm sounding like Saturday night. Anyway, either way, the point being here is we can all be like the friggin' wave where we can have some big things going on where our loved ones are personally affected. And as I was saying earlier, I have met people. I remember this Indigenous man that I met. He knew Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur helped him through sexual abuse. Not only that, because of the trickery that goes on, not only just spirituality, as in those that are spiritual, we're talking organization, churches, you name it. I mean, there's a lot of schools out there. There's schools as in universities, secondary education. These people awaken to the awakening, some telepathically communicating now. Some of us have been doing it a very long time. Then there are those that don't realize what they're getting themselves into, a clique, almost like, remember the pizza joints where they'd have this hidden organized crime behind it? And then there's all this other shit. Like I'm talking about, a school could be a prayer group. A school could be of many things. A school can be a collective of souls that get together and can cause havoc amongst other things onto others, and not realizing what they're even getting into and what they're hearing. And if they're not using discernment, they're sending these lashes, these things that there are those that are doing. And like this man, he had real pain and suffering. He had a picture up that I got to see. And even then, when I was giving him healing and the things, and not that I want to betray his trust by sharing with you any more than what I have. And so there are those that believe that, you know, they just had a clear knowing that their child was going to be sexually abused. And sure enough, it happened. Not that we are manifesting this reality for those that we love to come forward and actually happening. There are those of us that are mediums and have been century after century after century after century, and awakened from the clear knowing from the time we're born. And there are those that will step over the others. There are those that will ride the coattails of others. There are those that are, this is disgusting. There are those out there that will pretend that there's something they're not. If you're atheist, then be atheist. If you're Catholic, then be Catholic. If you're a combination of things, then be a combination of faith of things. Whatever it may be. I have no problem with that. Whatever your faith, whatever it may be. I'm not biased about anyone in particular, to say the least, even though I know that there has been things in the past where I reflect back and I go, wow, that was pure trickery. That was pure trickery. And so there are people that have lost loved ones to suicide. But I'll tell you right now, there has been people that have been harassed telepathically while driving. They could be doing pretty much anything. It's like today, I found myself not near myself by the base. And I'm like, what the heck? I reflect back, okay, not me, not myself. But at the same time, what was me and what was myself? I seen a guy go through the drive-thru while I'm parked and just enjoying my tea and give me the death stares you wouldn't believe. I'm like, okay, that's for him to own, whatever it may be. He was in a hurry going to the drive-thru, coming out and doing the rubberneck chicken thing and looking back at me. I'm like, alrighty then. However it may be, somebody is puppeteering him and playing him and feeding some bullshit in his mind, to say the least. Wake up, Canada. Seriously. Yes, there's wars going on, genocides, other things that are no surprise to me at this time. I was telling somebody today, and literally before I got to say it, my throat started choking up and everything else, and it was like somebody tried to puppeteer and come in and interrupt me from having a say, really. And so I proceeded to say, you know what? Here we are, we're so proud of certain things, and so be it, as a collective, in a nation, however it may be. But I remind people, it's like if you look at a range, and you're there, and there's the very center core, okay? Whether you're playing darts, whether you're in the firing range, whatever it may be. Usually that little red dot is somebody pretty famous. So it could be a politician, for example. And so don't forget, there's the whole circumference of all of the involvement of all of those that are involved in the process. There's someone on a fine line there that are poking the bear and doing shit, and then they look all innocent and make someone else look crazy and nuts, to say the least. And then they kind of, hide in the background and pretend that you're the crazy one, even though you know you're being puppeteered and played with. So know you, be you, appreciate you, love you. I cannot say it enough. It's like some of these other teachers, like, oh, don't fall for it, don't fall for it, don't fall for it. There's the wave, there's the title, there's all this stuff coming forward. I mean, there's beautiful friggin' human beings out there doing their work. My internal mother is always here for me, protecting, nurturing, and soothing me. Remember that. Your inner mother. Remember it. Be the power you are. Be who you're meant to be. Seriously. Be the light you are. Oh my, look at this. I love myself for who I am. I am here to love and be loved. This is soulful purpose. Oh my Lord, love a friggin' duck. Wake the hell up. Seriously, don't allow me to bear judgment as a collective with all that's going on in the world right now. Nelson Mandela. Love, kindness. Is that not our purpose in evolving as human beings and being the best human beings we can be on this earth plane? Oh my gosh, remember this. Please remember this. Oh, Lord, love a duck. I love myself for who I am. I am here to love and to be loved. Lord, love a duck. Lord Buddha. Lord Sanada, many lords to say the least. Lord Maitreya, oh my Lord. They're knocking. They're here for us. All we have to do is ask for help, honestly, to say the least. Okay, so 9 and 4 is 13, and 3 is 6. 6 and 1 is 7. So Buddha, okay, as I commit myself to a task, my attainment is assured. Okay, so let's be loving kindness. Let's be supportive of one another. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Support is so important. To support one another, to be loved, to be kindness, to be there for one another. Because if not, that makes people even more vulnerable. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be seen. Well, trust me, there's a difference in hearing and then hearing. You can hear what somebody has to say. But if they're belittling you while they speak, you may and you must say enough. Trust me, that is love. That is love for yourself. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is to expect anyone to change. It is up to them to change whatever it is they need to change from their own experiences. Perception, perspective, and knowing it to be true. Just know it. Feel it, and just believe, and as you may believe, please, because I'll tell you, I'm not kidding you when I tell you there's trickery going on. There's a whole different kind of war going on in the universe. They call it spiritual warfare. Okay, the mediumship beginner guide. This is humorous because I crossed it out and I said, this is no beginner guide. I'm sorry, dude. This is magnificent material. Magnificent material. I've taken many classes, and some mediums don't want you to know their secrets. Forgive me. It's almost like, here comes the tidal wave. Yep, just for me saying that. Guess what? Mermaid. What can I say? Got mermaid and dolphin cards here. Seriously, let's see what this mediumship guide brings forward. We can all do that. Notes on relaxation. Okay, this is true. The gong's here. Blessings, Christine. Gong bath. I love you. You are friggin' amazing. Please see the light you are. I don't even have to tell you that, do I? So notes on relaxation. With regular, and I'm not doing a promo here this way. You know what? Please be respectful, be love, be kindness. With regular practice, you can obtain very deep states of relaxation with the above technique. Don't do it for too long at first. About 10 minutes is plenty for beginners, and you will lessen the benefits, by extending the time until you are more proficient. And so what it's saying is, well, it's basically what it's doing is it's telling you all the different things to focus on. So I know at the monastery, this is all the things that I've done before. It's like calming your breath. So one of Anjanato, he'd be like, and it's like breathing out, and finding whatever works for you for breathing in, breathing out. I know when I play my instruments, it's like sometimes I can be somewhere, I'm like, it's like I'm breathing through my nose constantly, just from the trauma and everything I've experienced. At the same time, using gongs, using instruments, using anything to open up and to help you clear the chakras, especially in the throat chakra. And I believe in color. I believe in surrounding yourself with certain colors. So it talks about the attention to move your attention from your big toe, your right foot, and basically you can work from the earth chakra and you can move right up to your soul chakra. Now that is interesting because in here, this is how he tells you to do it. Most classes, they teach you to work from your soul chakra and work all the way down and out to clear what doesn't serve you for your highest and greatest good. So this is cool too, because this you can move up in the higher realms, the whatever it may be that you're in knowledge of. And this is like the seraphims, for example, coming down, and we're talking about the angelical presence, God, however it may be, that comes and cleanse you in ways. It's like, you know, God coming through and cleansing all that doesn't serve you in your highest good. Because trust me, there's some earthbound spirits that want to play havoc and play with you, even ancestral. Believe it or not, they come back in visitation, they're like, well, maybe they can learn from this, because I certainly did, kind of thing. It's like, no, thank you. And so moving your attention, like, and it talks about the body, and in a way, just focusing on that relaxation in the body, move it so that, again, this is shown going upwards. Maybe then it can be vacuumed up and out and then showered down with an invocation of some sort. And what I mean by that is, you know, may you please grant me with simplicity, Angel Sarah. May you please, Archangel Gabriel, and I call Angel Gabriel as well, with healing at this time. May you please, Angel Ariel, Archangel Ariel, however you want to refer, because I refer to them differently depending on what's going on. Unity, blessings. May we also say Angel Daniel on a homecoming way, and oneness being 2026. And I'll tell you, I don't know why, and maybe this is someone else's thought forms and how it's coming forward, and they want to be heard, and thank you. So whoever it may be, it's kind of like we went through the 50s, now we're going through the 60s, and it's kind of like, whoa, you know, we're repeating history. We have to be very careful, because we don't want a JFK assassination happening all over again. And I don't mean to say the President of the United States is JFK, if you know what I mean. I'm just saying, I don't want to wish irregardless intent on anyone, to say the least. And so now I've become aware, even this is uncomfortable for me. It's like, blessings, bowels and genitalia, and I'm like, okay, my privates is like, yeah, sometimes, okay. They even have this in the DSM, and I don't agree with it. And it's talking about energies in a certain way, and that, you know, they have a diagnosis attached to it. Are you friggin' kidding me? Hex and curses. I mean, there's people doing voodoo. There's people doing black magic. We're talking about good and bad witches, good and bad warlocks, sorcerers, wizards, you name this stuff. Remember, a lot of the people, maybe 10 years younger than myself and younger, have been introduced to the technology world of imprinting of all this game stuff. So, of course, their creativity, their imagination and stuff, you'd be surprised how they utilize that to trick those, even of my generation. And so it's just to be known that when we go through these relaxation areas, it may be uncomfortable. Everything from the buttocks to the stomach, especially if you've been sexually, you know, violated and stuff. Some of those areas can be very uncomfortable. But it's okay. Move the attention however it may be, however it may work for you. Call on the angels if need be to help you through the process, to make awareness to what's going on, and to go through that process. So basically relaxing yourself even to a state where the shoulders become relaxed and the head and so forth. There's a lot of videos online. Now, I'm going to tell you something to be very leery of. Cautious on what you watch. Cautious. Because there's some things out there that's just wanting to program people, and people will swear and live by it. It's like, you know, behold the mystery. There's a number 7 collection for you as well. If you know Kyle Gray's deck here with Cheryl, forgive me, Yembrak Rose, I think is how you enunciate her name. She's the artist. How magnificent is that? Okay. So that's interesting. I just did 12 knocks not realizing until just now, because they did 4, 4, and then another 4. Oh, see, that's the ebb and flow of spirit, but that's the ebb and flow of a spirit that's like, this needs to be heard. This needs to be said. This needs to come forward. It's almost like, have you ever like been in a household where everybody's yelling all over each other? Well, just know that there is some serious addiction stuff going on, and as a universal thing, I've got those praying for highest and greatest good for you all, facing what it is you need to face, and to overcome it with beauty and grace and simplicity, and to get your lives back. Because honestly, alcoholism kills, is how I see it, even illicit drugs. But then again, I'm a mystic Buddhist, so my perspective can be very different than yours. If you've ever felt violated under the influence of alcohol, you'll understand exactly what I mean. And so just know that to be true. And even I went through interrogation, like severe interrogation. Like we're talking afterwards, projectile vomiting coming out of me. And the NCO in front of me, all his paperwork was before him from the incident. And I'm projectile vomiting all over it, not intentionally, just showing you how the body can react to trauma and all this shit, red tape that's covered up, and then being called a lost soldier and running into someone I hadn't seen in a long time. And they too were traumatized from the experience being behind the glass and the interrogation I went through. So I tell those in spirituality that when they fuck with me, they have no idea what I've been through. Please do not fuck with me, please. I don't even like to swear. So please stop it. Because we all don't know each other's journey, our experiences, and things that we've gone through. And there are many. I say anyone can be in a crisis at any time. And I'm talking about professionals. I worked in mental health for many years. Served in the military. Did other things as well, to say the least. And spirit has fucked with my life. There is no doubt. I take accountability and responsibility, doing the healing, doing what it needs to be done. Have done it for years and years and years and rised above it. And then you find that you're happy and everything is just so. And then all of a sudden, like it's a hurricane that comes in. Eye of the storm, right? Those of you that know, my gosh, the love through the lens and the beautiful pictures I've captured, to say the least. And so this is a time for simple gifts and appreciation. Honestly, focus on you. You know, these people talking about this article coming out that it's 80% of people being narcissistic and 20% not. What? Because people are standing their ground and saying, I'm not going to be a people pleaser anymore, and I want to heal, and I want to move on, I want to be on the mend, I want to be... You know, I think that the psychologists and psychiatrists and all of those are in for a treat. It's like the mathematicians, pardon me, that are out there that are going, what? We're changing the way we do all this now? There's a different way to do math? Guess what? Mental health, it goes the same way, because people are awakening to the awakening, just like the governments and everything else. Things are coming crashing down, and you're like, what the heck? So trust me, there are people that are doing their work in the roles that they're doing it. Some are incognito sort of way, to say the least, making a difference. Then there are those that want to be fame and fortune. Then there are those that make profit on the vulnerable, making profit on war, making profit in ways. And I'm like, okay, please do not allow me to bear judgment, because I get very upset, because I know that they and those that have done what they have done. And then I'm like, okay, I have to cut the cords. My great grandfather, and yikes, yeah. You know what? Obviously he was gifted. Oh my gosh, spirit, don't do that. And so obviously he was gifted, and his whole, battle got, look at Master White Eagle and his tribe and all the friggin' buffalo and everything else. It had to get moved down south, and his trust and faith in Jesus Christ and God as the Almighty sort of thing, and then going, wait a second, and going through those trials and tribulations. And too was psychic, is still guiding us, many of us, on this path of ascension. And so obviously not wanting us to experience what they have experienced, and wanting the best for all of us in our outcome. So please, all of you and those that are prejudiced, oh my gosh, it even came out of my mouth today about somebody in obesity, and I'm like, they're obviously insecure. Like, enough's enough. I know what it's like to be obese and emotionally eat, and so to say the least, and then being gaunt and skinny and to a point where I weighed practically nothing. And so it's finding a balance in all of that. Even me now, I'm like, okay, simple gifts of appreciation. You know, I'm not saying I know what it's like for you. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that let's see from a perspective, each and every human being that comes into our life. And for me, it's even, you know, it's even a good example. I was at the monastery, and what a beautiful gift, the monk, like the simplicity. So I'm at the monastery. And the majority of the time, people come in, they downwind, they do their shit, and they leave. And sometimes you never see them again. Sometimes you'll see them over and over again. And then some people will show up at certain times, some won't. Some stay away because they're warned, whatever the case may be. And then, you know, I go there on a Friday night, and all of a sudden, this woman walks in before me, this very large indigenous woman. And it's like she wanted to slam the door in my face energetically because she saw me behind her. And then I hear her, and I'm not shitting you, I don't make up this stuff. This is the telepathic waves that my guides will open up and then they close up. And that's okay with me. And it's like a test, and it's like a test of God. And it's like, okay, we're not going to react to this. She has to own this, not me. So, and little did they know my history, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes. So we won't even get into all that right now. But the point being is, here is this woman. And I'm even later saying, oh God, please do not tell me that's the same woman that downwinded my condo, that did evil things to prolong the sale of my home. People do that. They do. It's horrific, but they have to own it. And so the point being is, it's an experience. And this person, when they were there at the monastery, they turned around and said, well, she's pretty or something stupid like that. I'm like, okay, what is this about? I don't even know. I'm not going to feed into it. Then I heard her say filth. I'm like, okay, because I have my dog, I'm filth. At the same time, I'm not reading into this because you know what? I had just went to the monastery last Friday. I had just talked to my neighbor a couple of doors down who lost his wife, lost his dog. I myself was in a state where it was like, okay, I can't allow this to attach to me, even though I'm feeling emotionally like I just was feeling this overwhelming feeling, and it wasn't even, it was grief, but it wasn't grief. It was kind of like in the clear knowing of certain things, and just having compassion for this man. And so I'm there, and I'm like, okay, somebody calling me filth, this and that. That's nothing. My gosh, that's nothing at this point. Little does she know that I had my clitoris pulled and all this fucking shit if I was really to get into stuff and torture. So the point being is, here I am hearing her call me filth. She doesn't know a friggin' thing about me. Not a thing. Only what she may be transmitting with somebody else, that she opens up the channel lines and invites them in to the monastery. Not boots on the ground. We're talking about people that have abilities, that are psychic, and they're playing havoc with other people's lives. And you get these mediums and different things where they want to climb the Jacob ladder sort of thing, or they want to inspire to be whatever, and they're puppeteering people to play fucking games. Excuse my language. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. Now, I don't mean to come across like I'm complaining by any means. I'm informing. I'm informing you. I'm not fear-mongering. I am validating. If you are experiencing this, don't fall into the rabbit hole. Be the seer. Observe it. Process it. This is what I had to do. So I'm processing this. And then, of course, the whole talk was about certain things regarding the whole situation. These monks are awakened. They're telepathic. They're in the knowing. Lord love a duck. They have no attachment, right? And so here we are. I'm like, okay. So validating, asking questions. So then when the person and another person leaves, so they do this thing, okay? They'll go block, and they do all this lingo, okay? These psychics, because they've been brainwashed to do so from certain people that want to puppeteer them. I would not fold. I would not give into that stuff, because I don't want to be responsible for somebody dying by suicide, somebody dying by accidental, like an accident, because these people will play games with people's fucking heads. And so these people will do, they call them dark forces, and you'll see their dark faces. You will see these people. You will see how they are. It can be evil. And so here we are. I'm just like, whoa, this cannot be. So my guides will tell me, right? And then I'm like, I don't want to know. Don't want to know. No, don't want to know. And so the more you do that, you realize, oh shit, I'm going to be in the knowing. I'm going to be in the clear knowing now. And it's like a test. How do we react? And I am very boisterous right now. Louder than I normally am, because I'm just like, whoa, get this. Please get this. Use discernment. Who is it that's speaking to me right now? I even heard somebody telepathically ask that. I thought, somebody else, another teacher, had indicated to me, ask, is this truth? I asked the angels to shower down, even tonight. I asked angels shower down the true voice of what I'm hearing. Sure enough, the voice switched automatically. And it wasn't the person, it was a trickster. When I see trickster, trickster can be spirit, trickster can be human spirit. And so people start to query, well, is this the people that are stuck in their body with ALS? Is this people that have dementia and the devil, Mara, is playing puppeteer with them? Like, who is this? Now, if somebody doesn't answer and they're playing with you, it could be a various beings. And so there are those that tell people, gather together your people, gather together your tribe. Remember that phrase way back years and years ago? What was that, before COVID? Gather your tribe. Something big is happening, something big is coming. COVID happened. And everybody was like, oh, my tribe, I gotta get a tribe, I gotta get a tribe. And they're losing sight of who they were and who, as human beings. So you had people that were leaders and people that were followers. And some people ascended big time in the spiritual community. And then you get those that are like, and I'm hearing enough, oh, hell no, hell no. I don't get led that way. I'm not held in captivity in my home like a bird in a cage. I'm here for a greater good. I'm here in the name of love. I'm here in the name of simplicity for those of you to really hear me. Don't get played. They will do this, you see, because they want fame, they want fortune, they want to be part of history. Well, I'll tell you something. There are a lot of those out there that have stolen people's stuff. I remember spirits reminding me over and over again. Remember we were in that class, and anytime you came up with a great idea, they're like, the teacher saying, oh, it's already taken. It's already thought of. And it's like, how demeaning. How demeaning. When you have a teacher that turns and basically is like, my business is about to fold. And so you put all this money in, okay? Get this. You put all this money in to help support because you're like, you don't want, it's like an anchor. You don't want this business to fold because you're falsely, right? It's an illusion that they're the ones that are helping you get out of what you think is yourself is broken. And you're not. You're not. You are capable of healing yourself. Don't get me wrong. There's supports. It's important whether you go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Now, trust me, I've been there where I've seen a psychiatrist and he sits behind the desk and he's not doing shit, to say the least, other than entering data into a computer. I quit going there, to say the least. Find your fit. It may be a friend. It may be someone, whomever it may be. It may be a counselor of a different sort, a talk therapist, whatever it may be. The point is that there are those out there that want to advance. They want to climb a ladder and they feel like they have to prove themselves in the universe to do shitty things to people to prove a point. It's like somebody said to me the other night, well, how come you didn't call in St. Lucie? And I'm like, I'm going to sit there and I'm trying to put a text out and my eyes are going all like, and it's like as if somebody put the glasses on and it wasn't my prescription. And they're seeing through my eyes and there's like a whole bunch of different eyes. So, you know, there's transfiguration. There's shit I have seen in the classroom environment. I felt energetically sexually violated. I had to leave the place. There is shit. I've paid thousands of dollars towards courses only to find out later that one class was canceled And I end up at the place, and I was just like, that's odd, Spirit. Why am I here again? And then being there and finding out that the class was actually on, and the person bumped me out of there. And knowing now that possibly that happened to someone else as well. And this same person, when they do certain work, they're putting hooks and they're daggers and all this shit. Well, no wonder they go running around the place, not wanting to be seen or heard, affecting other people's ascension and their worth. Like, are you effing kidding me? To me, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I just don't want it to be my reality, to say the least. The simplicity of life and moving forward and just being with what is, and just really these experiences, and saying thank you for showing me what it is. I would never, ever want to do, and I don't even want to bear judgment on it. I don't want to bear judgment on it, because everybody's accountable for their thing. Everybody. And I'm reminded that in the Bible, when I was led on Monday, Easter Monday, 14:13. Look it up. However that resonates with you, look it up. I think there was 3 different parts of the Bible that jumped out, and it was like, alrighty then, thank you. And so okay, I can't even enunciate this. When I was in school as a kid, I remember I ran away from school and ran to the Catholic church and and I saw the candles and went, oh, and then I had to go back to school. So I was in a special needs reading group. So even, I lived in a French community, so it was Anglophone, and it was Anglo-Francophone and things that I grew up with. But either way, the Shikanha, may you resonate with that divine destiny. And so I think that's a reminder too that, somebody had told me, and it's almost like, when you get that horrible reading and somebody turns and tells you you're going to see nothing but darkness, and then all of a sudden all this dark shit starts to happen, and then you're like, yeah, thanks. Like, really, if you don't have a nice reading and nothing nice to say at all, then why bother? Or there's different things that will unfold for you, and then you can learn from it, and then realize that sometimes when somebody does a reading, it's basically, you have to be careful, because they're taking their experience forward. And I don't care if you think you're a good medium or not, you're still taking your experiences forward. I remember this one girl, Julie, and she is a trans medium, and she came across with the most miraculous, magnificent sharing from a guide, and it was magnificent. And it reminded us, okay, first of all, not to be hard on ourselves, but to realize that our experiences, no matter what, will still carry forward when we are doing our mediumship. And I know a good example of that was how a friend of mine at one time, because let's just say she's a friend with a witch that's not of a good kind. And so you choose your path, and I cannot affiliate or associate myself around a certain person. I let this person know that it's okay. You choose to be so, then so be it. But for me, I had to stay away. I had to, from a heart-centered focal place. So sure enough, that same night, a walk-in happened. She crossed the line, and so did this so-called friend. But either way, she did a class on teacup reading, and I'm there with this other girl, and we're having a grand old time. And this teacher, I don't usually use grand old time, that's when I know a certain guide's coming through. And so it's delightful. She's doing an amazing job in teaching, doing like great. Then all of a sudden she comes to her table, because she knows me personally, okay? We're at the table, she starts to read, and my cup has a beautiful tree in it. And she's reading, and then about 3/4 of the way through, and it's a beautiful reading. Then she looks at both of them, and she goes, whose cup is this? And then it's mine. And then the reading switched. It changed. Because she brought forward her experiences and got jaded in the process of what she was channeling out. So there was interruption. And so That can happen. So just remember that when mediums do this, that use discernment. Don't run with it completely. Don't just take it all verbatim. Oh my gosh, the amount of times I have. I mean, I've been like a kid in a school ground and bullied by a medium more than once, to say the least, to a point where I allowed it to control my life. Literally, control my life and my destiny. And meanwhile, you know, I have nothing against the mediums. These are experiences. I am a medium. I'm not trying to knock or plow anyone over so that I can further myself by any means. I am sharing with you so you use discernment. Be the light you are, in a way that it's like not steamrolling over anyone. You know, it's just, yeah, I won't even get into that. Holding the seed in fertility. Oh, blessings, as I think of a family member, and blessings, to say the least. There was a 4-4 that came up there. And so this is interesting, right? So I look at the numbers and it's reminding me. So 18 and 8 is 24, and there's 34, 38. That's 11. That's a portal number. Okay. I don't remember the number of the book, but either way, there's another card here too that I'm supposed to flip forward. The lady and the unicorn, hidden in plain sight. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I haven't read these. I'm that medium where this channel medium said, they're saying she doesn't read the cards. She's not reading the cards. I'm going to leave it to you, the clear knowing of how it resonates with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away. Oh my gosh, correction. I just realized something. This isn't Kyle Gray's deck. Blessed be. Here you go. Forgive me. I'm perfectly imperfect in the way I am. And many have taught that. You see it on people's books. You hear it in the universe. Trust me, synchronicity. Please don't feel like people are stealing all this stuff from me, because I'll tell you, I've had lots stolen then. I'm talking, and people say, don't forget, use the word acquired, because that's how they use it in the military. You don't steal, you acquire. Yeah, that was my ex. He used to say things like that. Either way, when I look at these cards and how it resonates with you, it is up to you. The lady and the unicorn, hidden in plain sight. This is the thing. Some of us, when we're going through a crisis, we're going through something traumatic, we're going through something where we just need to escape the pain. It's so painful. For those of you that know, you just know, where you know, I remember just like this shit where I felt like privacy was invaded. I'm like, just wait, your kid's gonna go through this. You're gonna freaking know what it's like. And I'm not talking about some high school romance, because that's hurtful enough as it is. But we're talking about serious, somebody's in a relationship with somebody for years and years and years, and then the pain of everything, and then how it's in hidden sight, the fact that we all have a beautiful lesson to bear, and that is to love ourselves unconditionally, to accept ourselves unconditionally. And there is so many signs for us in plain sight, so many signs. Like, that's a good waking up for me right now. Not that I ever use that phrase that way, but either way, the simple gifts and appreciation, what is, and knowing what surrounds you. Please do not compare yourself to anyone else. Oh my gosh. You know, it's other people's stories to share, but it was interesting one time where this person told me their greatest times in their marriage was when they were in a trailer together, and the bond and everything else that they had with one another. And we're talking about not a big trailer, a little tiny trailer. And so it's recognizing, I don't know why, but Angel Ariel is popping out with unity in a special way. So when somebody tells you not to do something, what are you going to do? Reverse psychology, you're going to do it. There are times where, yes, pay attention to intuitively if something you're being shown a sign. But there are other times where you're like, wait a second here, I'm not being taped and bound and chained and restricted. Trust me, there's enough evil beings out there that do things like this, where people 1 minute will be nice and cordial to you, and then all of a sudden you'll see a switch in them, and you're just like, oh my God, somebody just said something bad to them. Something happened. This is the thing about the telepathic communication. You may hear something that somebody is saying. Ask them. Don't assume. Ask them. Did I hear you correctly? Because maybe even the girl that was leading and the two looking straight at me saying, I love, and they say a name, and this happens to be one of the teachers. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not saying anything. Because if I really said something, I'd come right out and say, oh, are you talking about, and then say the name, the person who died by suicide, that was tortured and tormented spiritually and happened to have so many psychosocial stressors going on, but she was a magnificent being, that she was able to do past life regression even when she came into the monastery. I was just like, whoa, I'm seeing her in a different time, and I'm seeing, you know, this peasant girl looking at me, and it's like, whoa. And even when she wasn't there, I remember the herd of animals and this and that, because I had finished my shamanism class, and even before, pardon me, this was way before I took my shamanism class, and the animals all like, you know, the animal realm, and my shamanism guide is what I refer to, which is really within myself and who I am. And so I believe in the oneness, by the way. I know there's a whole bunch of teaching about the higher self and then the soul self, and some would say a whole bunch of selves and just different things, and some would say detach, attach, this and that. Go with your heart and what you believe, please. Don't get too lost in it all. Truly, what soulful remembrance will come through, and what serves you will remain. What is not, say please, take it now. It's not serving me in this time, in the now. Blessings to the girl at a coffee cafe that said those words. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She had said them. She goes, you know, the way I deal with this, it's like now. Another I have to bless too. It's one day, one life, living in what is, in a way, in moment to moment. Because when you're a medium, you're psychic, different things go on for you where it's like you could easily be diagnosed with bipolar affective disorder, personality disorder, schizophrenia. You could easily fall into those categories within the DSM. But just know and be very clear about this. I know the years and years that I worked in mental health, any one of us could check off those techie boxes relating to anyone, even those that work in the mental health field. Know that to be clear. And trust me, there are those that break the Personal Health Information Act and gossip, amongst other things. Now, don't get me wrong, there's the umbrella of you know, mental health, and there's different departments, to say the least. So I'm just saying, there are people, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like the school teacher. You have personal information. You keep that personal information. And then you find yourself going to a party, and there's a whole bunch of teachers, and they're all gossiping about the parents and the students. And you're sitting there, not the teacher, and you're like, phew, this is awkward. This is really yucky. This does not feel good in knowing in a different way, if you know what I mean, right? Because anybody could connect up with anybody resonating with absolutely anything, okay? And so, don't get me wrong, you need those supports with one another under that umbrella. But for some reason, I'm getting somebody within spirit here that's asking that I bring forward something very different. When I worked in the field, I remember, and I might have mentioned this in another video, but I'll mention it again. There was a soldier who was in dire strait of needing support. Obviously, the charge nurse and him, there was some kind of miscommunication. This guy got upset. All of a sudden, they had his picture posted everywhere as a warning. Made me feel sick. Don't get me wrong. They have a base hospital. There are times where people are going through dire strait and they just need an outside source, a different person to see their crisis and their situation. And I was just like disgusted to see his picture posted up everywhere. Like, imagine the judgment. It was sickening, absolutely sickening. And so I just have to take a breath there, because honestly. So then, you know, I can get into some other soldier stuff and the shit that's going on but I won't right now, not at this time. I'm not meant to do so. I will tell you though, there has been other situations where I know that I was in a place where I was getting a scan on my back, amongst other things. And I recall exactly this young man coming in. He had an injury, and they were not going to see him. But then a lady came from behind the counter and said, you know what, we will. We know you're in pain right now. We're going to help you. I thought, yes, yes. And so I told him, I said, listen, make sure you get a copy of everything. Get a copy, just like you would docs. Get a copy of everything. I said, because maybe one day down the road, because this happened while you were at work and Veterans Affairs, you need to get a copy of everything. I happen to be at the right place at the right time for that lady to help and for me to help in a different way for him, because he is deserving of his benefits. Those that do not understand, those that have signed a dotted line and different things have come. You need to know to not bear judgment and jealousy amongst other things, because even our government officials, once they serve a certain amount of time, they get a pension. So we all know this is going on. There is a lot of people that benefit in many different ways, but trust me, it's not like the benefit you think. When I was first getting some money from an old chartered situation, I felt like I was getting social assistance. No regard or intent to those that are on social assistance. I'm sure you know what it feels like. You feel devalued. You feel like, yuck, like I don't like this feeling. When I was a teenager, my family was on social assistance. My dad got laid off from his job. The mining company closed down. We moved. We did without, to say the least. So I know what it was like to get those hamper baskets at Christmas, and what a delight. So thank you to all those who give. And so I've been able to give back in different ways, even myself on this journey. And so, and it's not even a rag to riches story, to say the least. I do not need to identify with any of that, to say the least, because trust me, even with my divorce, I was like, I will choose to be selfless and not selfish. I need to walk away. I can walk away with less and not more. But there are those that will be takers, and there are those that will not. And so, to say the least, it's like simplicity, right? Angel Sarah, it's simplicity. And sometimes in certain things, in order to heal, and it's not to attach to it anymore. It's like Angel Gabriel and healing and knowing, here you are, okay, picking the battles of what is important, what is not. You know, sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture and see that you forgive because you know they did not know what it was they were doing. And when you start to be in a situation like myself and other mediums where you know there's puppeteering, you know there's playing, you know there's things going on that are just insurmountable, like unspeakable stories and situations. Well, guess what? Some refer as star people. I've been referred to as a star seed. Are opening up and saying the truth, to say the least. And yes, I'll say it. I'll share it with you all. I was told, oh my, holding the seed of fertility does not have to be just about rebirth in this way and manner, the way you may see this card. So I remember being of service. There's the Bible. I open it up and they say, you're the forbidden apple. I can see now why that message came forward, because of my interactions with others and how it was, and my moral compass. Like even in the military, I remember this firefighter, and his wife just gave birth, and I was in base Borden at the time on course, and here he was fraternizing with me, and he was hoping I would sleep with him, and I was like, no means no, dude. Like, no, I have, respect here. There's just, it would have been different if he was single at the time. But even then, if you know what I'm saying here, have self-worth within yourself. He came back the next day and thanked me immensely. So I was the forbidden apple because I had pride within myself in a way that was just like, no means no. And then I did service, opened the Bible again. It says, you're the tree of the forbidden apple. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. I was in this situation where I'm just like, I got to stay the heck away from this person, no matter what they want from me. I am running. I'm just like Doris, I guess. And so I'm just like, yep, no means no. And then all of a sudden it's like, you are the forbidden apple. You are the seed of the tree of the forbidden apple. Well, you know what? Many trees. This is what I found out later. Many of us are trees, just like an orchard, like orange apple trees, you name it. Okay, so for those that believe, you do. If you don't, that's okay too. You know, it just, some people believe in reincarnation, some don't. It's pretty shocking though when you know that some people that don't, and you're like, oh my gosh, if you only knew. I know the life you lived in a way, in the soulful imprinting of you and how it's coming forward today, how magnificent and beautiful, and the survivor within, and how that soulful imprinting, and to keep what is and what is not, send it out to the sea with your guides, but don't throw it on someone else. Don't downwind energetically, thinking you're downwinding your energy, and then it's going up and you're helping healing someone and come back down. Again, forgive me, blessed be, beautiful soul. I know it's not your fault. I know it's not. There's some people teaching certain things. And then again, who am I to judge? You know what? Thank you. Thank you. That just reassured how protected I was from my team, because they did something special where it was like, okay, we're gonna make sure here that this is not gonna happen. And so it was interesting later though, because my dog wouldn't get on my ottoman. It was like she moved from the chair. First she wanted to be next to me. I was like, yeah, no, you need to go over there. And then she sat in the chair, but then she had to come closer when my eyes are closed. I'm like, Spirit's getting me to open them. They do this sometimes. Open your eyes kind of thing. And I look and she's on the ottoman. So anyway, my dog would not even sit on that ottoman. And it's not just her, it's been other energies. So it was a reminder to clean, cleanse, clear. So there are some miraculous sprays out there. I brought something up recently. Florida water, holy water. You can actually create your own holy water, is what I've been told by a reverend. I myself love to respect those that really put the effort, like the nuns and the priests and so forth, because they do it as a big collective. And but at the same time, it all depends on your faith, your belief, whatever it may be. And I'm going to end this very shortly because, oh my gosh, 102. Yeah, that's like 3. Let's just quickly do a card or 2. And only because of what's going on, most people don't realize, but it's funny how, oh my gosh, okay. So 3 and 7 is 10. So this is the year. Oh, they say it's drought and this and that, but at the same time, they're talking about forest fires and who knows. I'm like, I don't want to know. It's like when the liquor commission back in the place I used to live was getting hit, and they were telling me why they were doing it. I was just like, yeah, I don't want to know. Please, I don't want to know. As long as people are safe, you know. Divine magic. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. Thank you. Sometimes you have to stop, take a step back, observe the process, and just let things be, because it's hard, I'll tell you, especially when you know loved ones, like you really care about loved ones, and you're just, you know, when you turn to a friend and you just say, please pray, because, you know, you have faith in yourself, but you have faith in them too, because like I said, some people are so magical. There is such beautiful light out there, such beautiful light. And like I said, there's been people that have been murdered, that have been sexually assaulted, that have been done, you know, like as much as there is light, there is dark that will do things. And it's beyond not being them or themselves. And sometimes, you know, you'll get people saying the devil made them do it. And my heart just goes out, because it's like, you know, let's rephrase that. And so, dream big. You know, don't take anyone's destiny away from them. Let go of small thoughts about yourself. See yourself succeeding, right? See the magnificent being you are. I was told that by a teacher. And he would say, you're magnificent, and he'd come out and be like channeling all these beautiful, and I'm like, oh wow, he's an amazing reverend, and how he's able to do that. And I pray that he doesn't have to hide, because there are people that do, and And let's not bear judgment. Love is love, to say the least. You have the Midas touch right now, and every project you begin turns to gold. Alchemy. You know, it's interesting because I was going to get an alchemy book, and maybe that's a sign, to say the least. Speaking of books, oh my, I end up buying a bunch of books and some stuff, and I know that I was manifesting, and I am going to dream big because, you know, I want to finish stuff up so I can sit and, you know, I have some stuff coming forward legally, and praying that those that are there to help me on this journey, because I literally have to sue somebody, and that's, you know, a hard thing to do. Yeah, it's a very hard thing to do, and especially when you know you have proof, you have evidence, and I'm gathering it now, and I just yeah, you know, it's interesting because I opened this book and I'm looking at Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, but the first one I looked at is Archangel Ragu. Ragu, which means friend of God, is known as the angel of order and fairness. He is said to have been entrusted with the job of watching over other angels to ensure their good behavior. Being a master at resolving conflict, Archangel Ragu can be called upon whenever you find yourself stuck in situations or disputes that seem almost impossible to remedy, and the need a helping hand to restore harmony or diplomacy. Forgive me for my pronunciation, but either way, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes you can be in a place where you just feel, and I call upon Archangel Ragu because I know that I've been avoiding going through my emails because it's almost like manifesting a legal email address, you know, in a way that I'm just like, okay, this is going to be my legal email. Everything legal is going to come through this email address. And then I found myself going, oh my gosh, this email is becoming over inundated with stuff. And so maybe Archangel Ragu can help me with that too. Rugal, sorry. I got correction on that, just a clear knowing. So, yeah. And Archangel Raphael is huge. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. These four angels is just like, whoa, you know, to say the least. You know, and it's just like there was something, and it's like Archangel Metatron and this little guided book that I have, and had got me through such horrendous stuff. And I believe him to be a relation. And I know that sounds silly, but for me, I believe it to be true. And so I'm thankful. And so if you ever feel like you're reading something or you're resonating with something and you're like, oh my gosh, use discernment, but at the same time, trust this. Sometimes you can trust this more than you can this. And don't get me wrong, you need this with this and this as a wholeness, right? In a balanced way. And so may you be well, may you be happy, may you rejoice in all these cards, and thank you for the opportunity to calming myself down, because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a deck of cards and there's a beautiful one for you to enjoy. Look at the art. Now, I'm not usually in, you know, it's so funny because I promised myself I would never get these kind of cards. I like it for the history. I love it for the history, and it's magnificent because I can really relate to it. I read it, and it's like a clear knowing of certain things, and other things I still am yet to learn, and to know that all of us, the more we know is the more we recognize that we don't know. And that's a saying you'll hear from many mediums, many teachers, many, you know, however it may be, healers. I think I said that. Either way, okay. And so I feel that energy, and I do have to go. And it's like I love myself. And oh my gosh, and Louise Hayes, I'm like a different heck sometimes in the universe. I know, shocking, right? Right? Because she knows how I feel about, you know, people putting people on such a big pedestal and thinking they're greater than you, that they know better than you. They learn from us still. They're still learning from us. Know the light you are. This is magnificent. It's a miracle. You're living a life experience. You're breathing. You're talking. Some of you get to walk. I know what it's like not to walk in a wheelchair and being able to walk again. And so I know it's like to have my hair caught on fire more than once, to say the least, and many other tragedies, but I persevere. Everything from a big ring on my butt when I was a kid, sitting on the stove making something either way, and I had to wear a big ring around my butt for the longest time. So this Louise Hayes little kit, I look forward to really, checking out and seeing what's coming forward. And it says, you can heal your life. Affirmation kit, Louise Hay. So you know what? It's like, my life is healed. And I'm not a fake it till you make it kind of a girl. This is healing. Helping you, helping me. Unity in what is, and your validation. You're not crazy, to say the least. Those words, I know I've heard another who I love one. Ow. Maybe that's Louise Hayes making a point. I hit my foot. Oh, no. Okay, one more. I'm not going to look at a taboo. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so sick and tired of taboos. Taboo this, taboo that. Taboo. Believe in you, whatever you want to. Roses without thorns. That sat in this deck. Joy's peace, sweetness of life. This sat in this deck. In this for so long. I think that's a sign to read the pocket oracle in this, and I will one day. I'll see when. At this point, some of us are like, okay, the cards are beautiful. All that work you put into this for the meaning. Again, it's beautiful, it's magnificent, it's creation, and I'm appreciative of it. But at the same time, a lot of people will look at cards and then they'll realize they'll have that clear knowing of what it means to them. Even though they get verification and guidance and read it as to how it comes forward, and it's a guidance as a collective, you may or may not resonate with it, and that's okay. And in other words, don't let it lead your life. Just receive it as it may, use discernment, and let that be. And it's like this falling to the floor, and I'm like, yeah, we all can heal ourselves. Be reminded of that. I think with Louise Hayes, I think she's saying put it away and listen to some of my audio instead if need be. And I love you, but that could be from anyone. I use discernment. Truth? Yes, truth. Are you Louise Hayes? No, I'm not. Divine truth? Okay, so it's another that come forward, Dolores Cannon. Truth? I'm giving an example. You can do that in your mind, okay? Do that in your mind. There's obviously some things between Dolores Cannon and Louise Hayes, and I'm staying out of it, to say the least. But that's the spirituality thing. In this book, A Magnificent, it talks about that. It literally talks about it. This Leo talks about it. He's talking about how us spiritualists turn on one another. We literally turn on one another. And it's yucky, but at the same time, we learn from it. Oh, may I learn from it, Leo? Please, may I learn from it? Can I dream big? Can I dream big so that let go of the small thoughts about myself, seeing yourself succeed, but also the small thoughts of others, so I can still succeed in a manner that may be different than the other. I'm more of a nonprofit girl, and that's okay with me. It's meant to be. Even with my benefits that I receive, I am allowed to make so much money. Some say, oh, you can be a millionaire, this and that. Well, no thank you. I don't need to. I can live in simplicity and be appreciative. Look at some of these people in other countries where they live with very little and they're so happy. It's like Leo making his point with all the little sparse things in there. But, you know, be happy. Oh my gosh, freedom is happiness. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be free from anger, may you be free from ill will, may you be free from jealousy, may you be free from mental suffering, may you be free from physical suffering, may you live in peace, may you live happily, and may you be free from judging upon yourself, because you know what, we're human beings after all, and we will judge others, and we know what to say to hurt people, and it's evil, and I've done it, I've been guilty of it, knowing how to put that dagger towards someone, and I know because I've been hurt that way myself. I know it to be true. I truly know it to be true. And so, but don't get me wrong, I'm not going out there and saying it, but still, this is powerful. This is powerful. And we, as I cluck like a chicken, you know, we truly, you know, can be so judgmental. Even those that see through the lens, that see through my eyes, have been judgmental, and it's not me or my thoughts. And it's like, yeah, it's like some people see you like a giant, or they see something and then you're like, holy shit. Most people you can't talk to about this, because next thing you know, it's like, oh, she must have schizophrenia. Oh, she must have bipolar affective disorder. Oh, she must have this. Oh, she must have that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. There was a time when I worked mental health, I remember, it's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, excuse my language. The thought form is because somebody wore a lot of jewelry, they were personality disorder? Can we as humans give ourselves a shake? Like, shake? Like, seriously. You know, I myself, I love wearing jewelry. I've never been diagnosed with personality disorder, but still, I love wearing certain things, and I'm a mystic Buddhist. Does that make me someone with personality disorder? Maybe a little attachment, but either way, I just know that in reality, the world that we live in, more and more people are awakening, and they're saying, enough, no is no. I'm not following under your regime anymore. I know what it's like to be possessed by spirit, but not only that, it's more than what meets the eye. There's human beings that are doing trickery, that are doing evil stuff to other human beings. Like, this is beyond the comprehension of what most human beings understand, unless they've gone through real trials and tribulations. And we're talking about losing everything, even their clothes, in a way, if you know what I mean, giving them up, being there and saying, I don't want a CT scan, but forced and drugged and put through a CT scan. And then you end up in a wheelchair, amongst other things. There's so many stories, so many things, so many lawsuits that could be, but I can't be at war here. I was asked by a beautiful soul. She said, what is it you prefer? Do you want to be in the battle, or do you want to be at war? And it's like, whoa, like, that is huge. You know, it was epiphany, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'll take these small battles, because like my great grandfather, yikes, it was the bloodiest war, or the bloodiest battle of all time. But I'm getting war. It created World War I, where I lost my great-grandmother. And then my grandfather was in the Second World War. And then there was uncles, or an uncle. Uncles, I'm going to say plural because of the time. And so, you know, you're getting the gist here. There is so much more than what meets the eye and what's going on, than what you see on the news. And don't forget, sometimes you can get caught up in a loop where people are saying things, and it's like a past life regression thing, where it's kind of like tragedy can occur, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, we're feeling like we're here, and this is the experience repeating itself. And that's the soulful imprinting, something waking up each and every person because of a tragedy that occurs. And then it's wakening up within them. And then they come out and say things, and other people are like, yeah, don't say that. Don't even talk that. It's almost like the wars, they're going on in a different way. And they're awakening in people, and people are having what they call these past life regressions of a pure knowing, a clear knowing. And this is kind of like a new fold of people that are awakened to the awakening. There's been some of us that have been around for years that have experienced this before in a different wave. It was like eye of the storm. And then there's people even before that. And so it's like these different times where they unfold events and how people, become awakened to the awakening of what is. And so this is a time where a lot more people are recognizing that they're telepathic, and they're being tested on how they are with other people. And so some people are joining the bandwagon of others, and some people like myself was like, no, I married myself. Energy speaks in a special way. I read that book by Lee Harris. Well, certain pages I referred to, and I kept going back to that. Like, I'm like, Spirit, what are you doing? Okay. Yeah, okay. Finally, I think it was the 4th time I did a ceremony, and I literally had candles, and I danced, and I'm like, okay, I'm marrying myself. This was after my separation and divorce. And now I can see why. It's kind of like, I don't give a rat's ass if I ever be in another relationship again, because I've been loving myself so unconditionally, right, in a way that I am to be the best human being I can be moving forward, and it's time for me. It's time for me. I've been a people pleaser my whole entire life. I've given myself in so many ways that I don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. And I hope that you receiving this message, you feel the same way too. It's all almost like these long videos, but you know what? If you can watch the documentary, you can watch this as well. And so if you only knew, oh my Lord. And that's how I have to be reminded, even with others, and not bearing judgment, because if I only knew, right? We all would be a lot more kinder, be like, Lady of Mercy, please shower down on us all at this time. Because you just never know. It's almost like me hearing about something, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to go and get my ex-mother-in-law and just have her move in with me because maybe I'm feeling like she's not being treated very well where she is now? Like, is that what I am to do? It's possible, but at the same time, this is really hard too, because, oh my gosh, could you imagine? Could you imagine the rumors and the gossip, and who knows what will come forward? At the same time, I just know that would mean that I have to give up my room and move in the basement. And that's okay too, right? So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. I just know that there's a lot of pain going on right now within the family. A lot of pain and suffering. And so, yeah, it is. And I'm sure you feel it too. And so if you can be of service and the door of opportunity opens, then take it. And so I'm going to leave you with that. Be well, be happy.